Ha!
Oh, I forgot.
Okay.
Well, we're 13 now, so you know.
Now Mark is distracted.
What?
So.
Oh, sorry.
See that right? You broke character already by apologizing.
I'm a teenager. What do you want?
Supposed to go.
No, that's what I did 22 minutes ago when the printer ran out of paper and my daughter had a 50-page thing to print that's due tomorrow.
Sounds about right.
So the king goes.
Oh, yeah, that's it. I'll go. You bet.
Right. Anyhow, thanks so much for staying with us. It's the 13th anniversary audio spectacular. Or video I don't know what it is. It's some kind of spectacular.
It's merely spectacular.
But here we are. We got bumped by reruns of American Idol this week, so we're here at 9:05 on the Superstation. Stay with us through our kick-ass opening segments. There we go. Evening, everybody. It's Tuesday night. It's 9:05. It's time for What's on Joe Mind. We are a fan cast about the world of G.I. Joe. I'm your host, Mike Irizarry. How's everybody doing?
I mean, happy birthday, right?
I mean, it's more of an anniversary. Birthday is later.
According to some of the comments, this is the year we discover Cornhub.
I mean, really no, because we were the skeevy little kid that knew about it beforehand. So, I mean,
what
officially,
Don't.
Oh my God, Rob! Just
stop it.
At some point, you need to move into adolescence yourself, Rob. Come on.
No, don't go. Don't go there. It's not fun.
I'm not saying you got to go. I'm just saying you need to know. Oh my God!
That's corn on the cob, baby.
That's it. That's it exactly. Remember that tonight is an Ask Us Anything. We ask that you save your really pressing questions for the time that we've got at the end of the show. We do have super chats open this evening because all proceeds are going to assist Ron Friedman and his wife Val. You can get the link to their GoFundMe down below. Things have gotten started with that. It's off to a very successful start. It's stalled out a little bit, so we're going to try and help them out a little bit tonight. Everything that you send to us going to move right on to the Friedmans from the G.I. Joe community. Because as Transformers folks are getting all the credit at this point, and we can't have that.
No.
Can't have that. Stand up for yourselves, people. If you don't give to us, if you don't give to us here on the show, more of your donations are going to go if you go directly to the website. Again, it's down below in the description. But if you just absolutely have to have your comment on screen, well, a super chat's a good way to do it. So yeah, we appreciate all the love we're getting in the live chats. I can't possibly put them all up, but we do appreciate them. Anyways, joining me here on the top row, he's the former head of marketing for the G.I. Joe brand at Hasbro. It's the Hot Show, Mark Weber.
Wait, one sec. There goes Cyclops with the Wolverine.
I was getting Cyclops still driving.
Yeah, dude, look at that. Come on. And I had to go backwards. I know the missile launchers are wrong here, but they were, whoever I bought this from on eBay, they came pre-installed wrong. So if I want to do it correctly, I'm going to have the G.I. Joe upside down, and people can go, hey, I think you got the stickers upside down, Honcho. Like, get out of here with that. I ain't got time for that.
I mean, I understand. My OCD would drive me insane until I fixed it myself. So I hear you.
I'm going to have to, there's a peel and restick going on, or maybe some reprolabels.com. Who knows? But
Can't you just pop it out of the holder and pop it back in? Or is
no, I only bought it because the holder on mine broke. Like, aside from the tow cable, that little hatch on top of the missile launcher that secures it, that's almost as brittle. So that ain't going nowhere. So
it just so you know, Mark, Surveillance Port, actually, the stickers are crooked and upside down. So
There we go. You can always count on the internet. Appreciate
Well, that's
that.
a kick in the niblets.
that's what he's
Right.
here for.
Hey, Mike,
So-
you gotta push your glasses up when you say that.
I could, but I don't want to. I don't want to dignify it with any more than it has to. I don't want to encourage that sort of behavior. But Racktime Rob can't fudge with his glasses at all. His are broken. They'll just fall
Hey.
off his face.
Are they actually held together with tape?
No,
throw the-
glue.
Let me throw the programming off. JoeFan84 has a pressing question I can answer. No.
I had a question for Mark. Did you work on the 2010 Wolfhound any? I love it, and it's a snow diorama. Mark apparently did not.
I did not. I was at Hasbro from 2012 to 2017. But yeah, I like the Wolfhound. But no.
In the bottom row, he is the Donnie Wahlberg to my Mark Wahlberg. It's Racktime Rob.
Hey, that means I get to be in Band of Brothers.
Yeah,
Right,
Hey,
he's-
yo, Blue Bloods here.
He's a better actor and a lesser star. So
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's fair.
And a better
assumed
singer.
I assumed he was the singer and you're the dancer.
No, I'm both of those.
Marky Mark and the the Funky Boys.
Feel it. Come on, come
And
on.
New Kids on the Block.
And I never shot Derek Jeter.
Right,
Oh,
right. I mean, truthfully, he's more the Jimmy Dorsey to my Tommy Dorsey is kind of the way our predilections run. And you guys have Google, you can look that up.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's in line with what instruments we played in high school. So it was on that level. But also in the bottom row, he is here from Articulated Points. On loan once again. We figured it's an anniversary episode. We might as well get somebody who shows up on the show once in a while. Phil Dunn.
Hey, Phil.
9 minutes. You ain't been banned yet.
Right. What's new, Phil? We haven't seen you for like 2 weeks?
Oh, you guys already know. I went to Disneyland.
We know.
And I'll be back again on Saturday for May the 4th.
Cheapest Big Spender, thank you so much for the super chat, sir. Okay, Mark Weber or Wallace A. Weems, we all know that you're secretly ripcord, then changed to Charbroil when your secret got out. Mark, respond.
Ripcord's African American, as we all know. That's canon.
Right.
So obviously not, right?
So now
But
you're
there were-
problematic, is what you're saying.
Now I'm conflicted.
I mean,
yeah,
look, Marlon Wayans is a handsome man. I think you should just be happy about the comparison.
I take it. You
Right.
bet.
I'd
Tanner,
absolutely trade there.
tanner than I've ever been. So happy about that.
That's not hard.
But there were a proliferation of redheaded Joes. But my favorite was Thunder. Loved Thunder. So there you go.
I think that's the most accurate in that when you get his helmet on him, his head looks really big.
Yeah.
So I think that makes it the best comparison.
Going with Thunder. I got the white belt to prove it.
It's Josiah Alcorn says, "Ooh, it's Phil Donnelly night." I mean, you don't have to go very long in between Phil Donnelly nights. We're not a real, we do have a nonstop cavalcade of guest hosts, but we always come back to, like, Phil is kind of he's kind of the north on our compass in regards to guest hosts. So
You can't quit me.
The Scott Proctor of our bullpen.
he takes a lot of abuse, so that's a very valuable skill in the What's on Joe Mind game.
So many lonely nights crying myself to sleep.
Surveillance Port comparing Rob and I to the Menendez brothers. I don't know what instruments they played in high school. So
Yeah.
Shotguns.
Yeah. They're probably automatics of some kind.
Zaymot CJC just moved on. There he goes. Was thinking Smothers Brothers.
I'll take that.
Who did Mom always like best?
Not me.
Okay.
Josiah Alcorn asking, just got here. Are we raising money for something? Yes, we're here for the Ron and Val Friedman GoFundMe. You can catch the link down below in the comments if you want all the details. But suffice to say, Ron is undergoing treatment, and Val, for that matter, too. They're both undergoing treatments for various ailments. They are moving closer to the facility which they receive those treatments, and it's all, how healthcare can be very expensive. So that's what we're doing there. So everything donated to us tonight goes directly to Ron and Val Friedman.
I love that Josiah came in with $2 already, asking, "What are we raising money for?" That's solid.
Look, yeah, he's going to fire in probably a dozen more times tonight. So I'm not going to criticize anything Josiah Alcorn does.
I'm not criticizing him. I'm saying that's awesome that he just threw $2 in as the entry, like an ante, and was like, "Are we raising money? Here's $2."
He thought it was for the What's on Joe Mind booze fund.
Mantis, no. What is the dollar thing? Does that go to What's on Joe Mind or piece of crap Google? It comes to us through Google. If you want to make a more effective donation, then by all means, you want to follow the link in the comments down below, in the description down below, rather, that go to Ron and Val Friedman's GoFundMe directly. They're going to get a lot more of that donation if you send it that way. If you have something you just absolutely positively have to get on the screen tonight for the super chat, then unfortunately POS Google is going to have to get their stamp, take their piece. We're not here to necessarily wave around that we donated a big number ourselves. We'd rather get all of you guys over that way if that's what you want to do. But again, if you want to take part of the super chat tonight, you want to make sure that your comments get on screen. That's what it's there for in that sense. Josiah Alcorn with $2 more. Oh yeah, it's a great cause. His students love him. Look, we all owe Ron a debt, regardless of what you think of the stuff that he did for Sunbow. And there are some varying opinions of the quality of it. But frankly, G.I. Joe as a phenomenon doesn't happen without Ron Friedman penciling a few miniseries for the show back in the day. So we owe him a debt of gratitude for even being here. Cheapest Big Spender, thanks again. Here I thought it was a donation to get Biff out of Disneyland for the show. We can't control that. And $5 ain't going to get that done. So
you can't afford me.
Can't afford Disneyland on $5. You, yeah. we can get 6 of you for $5.
How dare you, sir?
What does $5 get you in Disneyland? A popcorn refill if you brought your at?
I don't even know if that.
Oh,
I think it gets you a chuckle and one of these.
I think you can get a small soda for under $5.
It gets you an extra long hug from the guy in the Goofy costume. Just saying.
But
you're supposed to be able to get those for free.
So. Not the guy in the actual Goofy costume. It's the dude in the homemade Goofy costume.
Yes.
He costs $5.
Out on the street in Harbor.
And he's out in front. He's outside the admission booths there.
Walking the block up and down Grauman's Chinese Theater.
And by the way, Mantis, welcome to the show.
Batman.
The 99.99. All right, for $4, you can get a bag of Doritos.
Okay, good.
All right, Dustin Jeffrey says it gets you a churro from the trash can.
Oh, that's rough.
Please don't go for the trash churros.
Surveillance Sport says $5 here at Disney World gets you a swim in the alligator pond. As if you'll remember from Eric's appearance on the program a few weeks ago, he's in Florida.
Yeah.
So you can get the regular soda,
out the door through
but
the
not the large.
Also known as God's armpit.
Right.
Northern
Florida. Are we gonna have a Disney fight here? That'd be good. World versus
we're not going to do that through chat. Like that maybe that's something to get both of them on the show for at some point. Like we can kick Rob to the curb for a week to see Disney fight live on screen.
Rough. That's rough.
But I'm not above kicking Rob to the curb. You know how that goes.
No, let's just plan it for his benefit, like the first week of summer vacation when he's like 3 sheets to the wind.
Hey, I do have something to do on the 14th, which is a Tuesday. So
Zaymot CGC says Ron Friedman wrote for a lot of my favorite sitcoms in the 60s and 70s. That he did. You can check out all of Ron's achievements on his IMDb page. They are as long as both arms spread across the room. But specifically, he's important to us most of all because of the G.I. Joe stuff that he wrote, the first 3 miniseries, and then he got a credit on the movie as well. So he's important. He's a big deal.
Man, he's also got a credit on the Transformers movie. And
yeah, we know other lesser movies, sure.
Robots.
Well, one of those made the theaters.
One of those also made every child who watched it cry.
Right, and kept Joe out of theaters, right? So
right. It bombed so hard that it meant G.I. Joe couldn't get to the theaters. Sean Russell, thank you so much, sir. We appreciate you.
And then G.I. Joe tried to pay him back with that Snake Eyes movie, but they still put what was the last one? Rise of the Beasts out.
Which
was
I think
rough.
still made, much more money than
It did.
Yeah.
Wasn't any good, but it doesn't seem to matter.
None of them
Better
are
than
any
Snake
good.
Eyes.
The first one was good. I'll fight for Transformers 1, but not on this podcast.
Look, it's hard to deny that if you have two crappy movies, the one that's going to perform better at the at the box office is the one with the giant shitty robots.
Yeah, probably.
Right. Like if you're gonna have two bad movies, then at least have the one with the curiously indistinct robots fighting one another. That's at least a spectacle.
Yes, Transmorphers.
It's not a good movie, but it's a spectacle.
We had this conversation today, pooping about on the Snake Eyes movie, and I'm like, well, Storm Shadow was really good. Scarlet was not bad. Baroness was not bad. Akiko ruined Las Vegas. So yeah, it deserves something. It's like people who crap all over the Phantom Menace, right? Oh, the Jar Jar movie. You're like, you didn't like Darth Maul? You didn't like the best saber fight in any Star Wars movie? Come on now.
Right. I mean, there's really only a few things that G.I. Joe Origins Snake Eyes did get wrong. One was giant snakes, and two was Snake Eyes.
Yes.
And unfortunately, that's two big things to get wrong.
And 3 was shaky cam in every fight scene.
Yeah.
It pretty much ruined it.
I like to say that the Snake Eyes movie gave Superman Batman's origin as to why it was wrong. But even then, it's worse than that because, like, Batman would do the right thing before ultimately betraying his friends. Snake Eyes didn't do that until he got screwed over by Cobra. So it's not him being good. It's him just wanting more payback.
Right.
This is no altruistic move on his part to make him a good guy.
Yeah.
No, at the end of the movie, he's still just a little bit less of a dick.
Yeah.
So
for the guy that was the absolute moral center of the team.
Yeah.
Of the entire G.I. Joe universe as we know it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also, a lot of swordplay, not one drop of blood. That's pretty impressive. They must cut so fast.
Right. Well, I mean, we did do a whole review episode on this like 3 years ago. We'll send people back to watch that. Let's move on to community calendar. We've wasted enough of the world's time, and we have community calendar. When last we left Staff Sergeant Seanugs, he was being rejected from heaven. Let's take a quick minute to review that now. So cute. I love him.
Only because of the eye blink.
It's not only, but it doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
Denied entry into heaven. Oof.
And sent where? To
Nugs has a dark past, apparently.
Look, we might have a new entry after community calendar because that's only how we've been doing this for the last however many weeks.
I hope that wolfhound I didn't create picks him up.
You guys keep talking about it, but that's fine. Anyways, the venerable toy Palooza coming up May 5. It's here to celebrate the Catalina wine mixer.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to do it at the Allegheny Health Network Sports Complex in Pittsburgh, PA. It's the official show of Mr. Pittsburgh, Matt Rubin. Going from 11 to 4, $5 gets you in the door, $10 gets you in for early bird at 10. Kids 12 and under are free. That's still paying too much for kids 12 and under. What do you say about that, Mark?
Totally agree, man. Have you ever met kids? Ugh.
Right.
They get you with the
depends on how badly you need your lawn mowed.
There's a reason why both of your kids are over 12, Mark. Am I not correct in that?
I mean, they've survived this long. And without them, who would unload the dishwasher and take out the trash and the recycling?
Do they actually do that?
About 50% of the time.
All right.
The problem with kids is the overhead.
Right.
The overhead.
We figured we'd make it up in volume, but that didn't work.
Parking is free. Food trucks and ATMs are on site. if you need more cash to get at all them toys. But you can't beat it. You can only hope to. You can't stop it. You can only hope to contain it. It's Toy Palooza in Pittsburgh. This Sunday, May 5th? Is Sunday, May 5th, or is Saturday, May 5th?
Sunday.
I think Sunday's May 5th.
But Paul,
it's not Toy Paul. There's no Paul. There's no H. There's no W.
Next year it's happening in international waters, so no one can prosecute.
Joe Malone asked, did he miss any Knight Rider 2000 talk? And I would say, yeah, you missed it all.
that sweet red car.
You missed it all.
We just recapped both episodes.
Cheapest Big Spender, thank you again, sir. The best ending for C-Nugs is not getting thrown into heaven and shows him at McDonald's in the fryer. Boo.
Ooh.
Do they assume he's uncooked?
Right. I figured he's
That was
already
15 years of Chris Claremont stories building to that moment, and you ruined it.
Oh, good point.
Someone clearly a fan of the onion nugget or the hula burger.
There it is. There's George Fidusco. I'm sorry, George. I'm going to continue to screw that up. Happy birthday / anniversary. What's on Joe Mind? Thank you, George. Appreciate it.
What him?
Mantis. No. He's new here.
Batman.
How do we leave a big boy comment? Have to come back after? No. Just go to the comments down below in the underneath the description of the video. That's where the big boy comments live. That's all right. We have lots of terminology and in jokes, so I understand if folks don't necessarily know all of it right away. Next up, also happening this Sunday. I should have known May 5th was Sunday. That's when Toy Man's happening. Toy Man is always on Sunday. It's out of the Machinist Hall in Bridgeton, Missouri, just west of St. Louis, out by the airport. It's going from 9 to 2, $5 gets you in the door, $15 for early bird at 8 a.m. And as you know, that's when all the real deals happen. Parking is free. Remember to find and hug Dave Draper for a big 0% discount. Machinist Hall, as you can see there, 12365 St. Charles Rock Road. 2 big stories full of toy dealers. If you're anywhere close to St. Louis, you need to make it out to Toy Man. Lord knows, they do 8 of them a year. So you got plenty of opportunities, but it's absolutely worth the trip.
Those are the Sundays that they take all the machinists out to the park and give them some exercise.
Right.
It's going to be a good show. Cody Rhodes is going to be there, so he can finish both stories. Get it? Okay.
Michael Gene Fleming, thank you for the super chat, sir. I have no idea how much money he gets per copy or how soon, but Ron Friedman also has an autobiography on Amazon. I Killed Optimus Prime.
Nice.
That's fantastic, and that title is good enough of a reason to go buy.
Yep.
Ron Friedman's autobiography. And he worked in television for like 40 years. He's got stories to tell. I have no doubt that that's a pretty good book. Thank you, Michael. We appreciate the super chat. Cheapest Big Spender says Cinco de Mayo at a toy show. How will they survive? I mean, it's in the morning though, because you can just go to Toy Man and then get blitzed afterwards at Taco Bell across the street. Maybe, I don't know.
Well, that's where you wake up the next morning and find you've bought the entire Battlefield Earth toy line.
Phil, sounds like you're speaking from experience there.
I can neither confirm nor deny such vicious rumors.
You put the frozen margarita in the Slurpee cup and walk around all day. You're good.
Waking up in the trunk of Chuck Norris's karate Corvette.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Zaymont CGC wonders if Target gets any extra business when the Toy Man shows take place. I mean, probably. We know they're not selling extra deodorant because it's a bunch of toy guys. But they probably pick up some extra business.
Yeah, go in. Ask them if they have your pre-order.
Look, Joe on Joe podcast also asking any Knight Rider 2000 chat that I missed. I wonder if he has anything to do with Joe Malone.
Curious.
Facebook aliases. Anyway.
I'm Gil. This is
Hey.
Jill.
Both of you, give us likes and subscribes.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? I'm pretty sure they are, Mark. Unrelated. I don't think so.
I don't know who that handsome devil is.
Curse those handsome devils.
The Joe on Joe podcast wears glasses.
So anyways, get yourself to Toyman. Do it. I swear to God, I will find you. Do it.
Good Lord.
Hug yourself some Dave Draper. Take some pictures. Send them to us. We'll put them on the air. Make no question. We got a question of somebody giving Dave Draper a hug for the 0% discount on admission. We will absolutely get that on the air very next opportunity.
You can
Also,
hug
get some experience with how bear mace feels. Just
I
unrelated.
really would have thought Duvall would have been the first one to do it.
You can hug him quick and run.
Look, you
You
can
don't
always
have to ask permission.
Dave is in on the joke. If you ask him, he'll probably say yes. He won't be happy about it, but he'll begrudgingly have the picture taken just because he knows our dumb show has put this out there as a stipulation. He is aware, okay? This is not a surprise. I have let Dave Draper in on it because I don't want people tackling him, unbeknownst, just for no reason. We like Dave. We want Dave to hang around.
When did you get Dave on the show?
You got a happy birthday from Joe on Joe Podcast. Thank you, Joe. We appreciate it. We have some fun with your Facebook aliases, but I would love to have Dave on the show. My understanding is Dave doesn't have a camera, so we'd have to get Dave some equipment first.
Until then, wait for that YouTube video of Dave Draper meeting Terry Tate, office linebacker.
He'd have his work cut out for him, man. Dave's a big guy.
That'd be some collision, right? Come on now.
If you wait a week, Western Ohio Toy Show is happening Saturday, May 11th. That is from 9 to 3, $8, or rather 8 a.m. early access. I don't know what their admission is. You'd have to find that on their Facebook page. That is a Roma Collectibles toy show, so be sure to stop by and see Aaron or Mary Mercenary or whoever they got working the booth that day.
I think it's Paul.
Possible. Could be Cousin Kenny. I don't know. But it's all right there for you. Again, Roma approved. And as you know, Roma Collectibles is the official vagabond hobo retailer of What's on Joe Mind. Along the same lines, they are also the sponsors of Community Calendar. Right there, you can visit Roma Collectibles at their own toy store in Springfield, Ohio. Closed Monday and Tuesday, 12 to 7, Wednesday through Saturday, 12 to 5 Sunday. You can see our lovely proprietors there in the photo. They are easily that happy at all times when people come in the store to shop and spend money. However, try not to make eye contact. They are easily provoked. They will fight. They are biters. Be careful.
This picture is actually them getting spooked by a doorbell. So,
and their vision is predicated on movement.
Right.
You have no idea how long it took us to convince them that picture would not steal their soul.
Right. So just be careful. They again, so long as you're spending money, that keeps them at bay. But
just don't approach from behind.
I can't tell if Mary's chewing gum or if that one tooth is coming in really good.
Probably both.
Yeah, probably both.
Probably both. Don't be saying things to make her self-conscious about her teeth. Come on, Mark.
No, I'm just saying from this angle, right? It looks like that's the fang that gets you.
It very well could be. She tends to favor left, so
right. I'm gonna get it now. When's the next time she and I'll be in the same room?
Joe Fest.
I don't know, sometime in June.
Weeks
Fest,
away. Yeah, I'm gonna get her.
You could have a will on hand is all I'm saying.
Lovely woman, smart, nice, fantastic. That cover? Am I good now?
She is, but she's still gonna punch you.
Long memory. I deserve
She can
it.
still fight you.
I deserve it.
Yeah, I will not defend you on this.
No, well, you're on your own, pal.
I'm just saying. Look, haven't I seen Danhausen running around up there? And Al Snow?
Yeah.
How long does it have to be before Paul Roma? Come on. He ain't doing anything.
Yeah, he's a West Coast guy though, I think. So I don't know if he's I don't think they want to spend the money on the plane ticket.
Get Jim Powers, really piss him off.
They'll get Kenny Powers this month.
Ethan Page has been in. He's quality. He's been at their show before.
What they should get Roma and pub it as a surprise appearance by one of the legendary Four Horsemen.
Right. It wouldn't be a lie.
Yeah, and people will be like, "Well, it's not Ole."
Unless he's being held in stasis.
You know what? I don't think death can keep Ole Anderson from being bitter about something.
No.
Zombie Ole might stagger in there and go, "What the hell?"
Right.
He probably got embalmed like this.
Right. just start talking about Lucha Libre and Ole will come charging through, dragging his one bad leg behind him. Josiah Alcorn says, "What's on Joe Mind? Joe Fest shirts are on sale to be cool at Joe Fest." It would. We got a thing going there. Zaymod CGC asks, "Is Roma a rival of Kokomo Toys?" No, they are colleagues. They're both in the toy business.
Non-competing markets.
Right. There are plenty of room out there for more than one vintage toy retailer. God knows. We got 5 of them in town that I can think of off the top of my head here in Indianapolis. So, and none of them sponsor the show. So Kokomo Toys is close. They're only about 40 minutes north of us, but yeah. So Lord, yeah, there's lots of space out there, guys. There's no contest there. Todd and Amber and the Dietrichs are friends. Strange as that may sound, they are friendly.
Make sure we get Cheapest Big Spender up there. Because if you want to get your comment on the program, just name drop La Parka.
Right.
You're in.
Right. Right. La Parka would be dancing in behind Ole Anderson. Perhaps he'd have the chair handy, the chairman of WCW. He'd get that done.
Love La Parka because he was like 40 pounds heavier than the next closest luchador.
Right. And he'd still go,
a luchador? Oh, yeah.
Well, then he would go diving over the top rope and stuff like the little guys do. And you'd be like, oh, my God, look out below.
How come the biggest guy has a chair?
Because he wants to sit down.
He's not. He's not.
No, he didn't.
People. He's there to play guitar.
That's pretty much it.
And then eventually hit people. But whatever.
I don't know that La Parka's ever sat in a chair. I don't think he knows that that's an alternate usage of it.
Yeah.
Some might say primary.
He's still out there. He's still out there. He wrestles as L.A. Park. He's well into his 60s, and he still carries around a chair.
Still looks good. Yeah, he carries a chair, a wheelchair.
As good as he ever did, I guess. Anyways. Also happening, or no, it's not on the same day. That's a week later. May 18th, Inside Pitch Promotions has their next show at the Metro Convention Center in Hickory. That is happening from 9 to 4. That is $5 to get in. Kids 12 and under are free. Again, still way too much to pay for a child 12 and under.
Did you know you have to feed them every day?
Like a couple times.
What the hell?
Yeah, I mean, ish.
Mark, as a registered father, can you confirm or deny this?
Yeah, the kids eat 3 meals a day unless I make something Elizabeth doesn't like for dinner, which odds are pretty good, actually. And I only make like 7. I got like 7 things I can go to, and none of them are very creative. And
so what's
chicken nuggets?
What do you say that you do best, Mark? What is your?
I make a kick-ass lasagna.
All right.
If it's lasagna night, yeah. The big ones that actually take some work and some forethought and some time, I make a kick-ass lasagna and I make a 9-layer Mexican dip.
All right.
That'll get you through a whole WrestleMania weekend if you air out the house on Monday.
Are 4 of those layers just lasagna again?
It's pretty much, they're both variations on a theme, right? Like, yeah.
Right.
I'm just saying in between like the beans and the chips, you've got a lasagna as
That's not bad, yeah. One time I made a Mexican lasagna and just blew the family's mind. Yeah, it was pretty solid. So I can cook a couple things.
layer of beans, layer of beans, layer of beans, layer of beans.
Mhm.
Layer of
One of my
salsa,
fa-
layer of beans.
One of my favorite things I ever saw on Facebook was when you get the refried beans out of the can and it's still can shaped.
Right.
So a guy had a picture of doing that on a tortilla, and then he rolled the tortilla around it, so it looked like a literal can wrapped in a tortilla. And on the bottom it said, "Follow me for more recipes."
That's the best. That's the best follow you did all day, though.
Outstanding.
Dustin Jeffrey is going to go all food snob on us and ask if you shred your own cheese for Mexican dip, Mark.
3 different kinds. Ooh, I don't mess around.
There you go. You think? I mean, seriously, they think that the honcho is not to be taken seriously? Great madness.
Look, I'm not saying I'm some gourmet and that I whip up amazing things in the kitchen, but if I'm doing the 9-layer dip and if I'm doing lasagna, we're getting the good stuff, baby. No cutting corners.
That's actually that's a reason why you got the gig on this show.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Phil is not full time.
Because he doesn't cook so good.
Phil doesn't cook at all. Phil hasn't cooked a damn thing.
Phil's just eating popcorn out of buckets.
And AT-ATs. Wow. He didn't really deserve that, but it was funny. That was rough, Phil. I went to bat for you. Kinda.
Phil didn't really deserve that.
I can still hear what you guys say when I'm banned, you know.
Right. So May 18th, head on out to Hickory for the Inside Pitch promotion show. Be sure to stop and say hey to Michael Gene Fleming. I won't. He gave us money, so I won't subject him to the Dave Draper treatment.
Mm-hmm.
But
Because he paid you off.
Look, man, you got to show a little respect.
When you use all 3 names, sounds like a serial killer.
Jake Rose says wait, wrong one. Honcho may be known for the best lasagna in Bend, Oregon.
And that's a low bar, right? But I'll take it.
I'm sure there's some food truck that'll get on diners, drive-ins, and dives that you don't know about from Bend, Oregon. That does a pretty good one too.
You know what Bend, Oregon's known for? Jamaican food, man. That's what they have in the Bend, Oregon.
Well, it's not.
Yet you banned me.
Yeah,
it's
man.
not Jamaican. That's the Bend accent.
Yeah, that's
Jamaica got it second.
Yeah, man.
So-
Heavy.
Andrew Gauguin has given that as our new motto. He didn't deserve that, but it was funny.
There you go.
T-shirt.
T-shirt.
Right? Anyways, moving on.
Hey.
That same weekend, the SoCal Joe Show is happening Sunday, May 19th at the scenic Temecula Embassy Suites in Temecula, California. That is happening from 10 to 3. $5 gets you in the door. $10 gets you in for early bird at 9. Kids are free. You get more details on their Facebook page. Just look up SoCal Joe Show. It'll come right up for you. Exclusives, they'll be there. I honestly, I didn't check this week. I'm behind.
They're still teasing it. You're fine.
Okay, all right. I don't know if it happened or not, so I don't want to come off like I'm just not reporting things. I honestly just didn't look. Guests will include, in an unofficial capacity, Biff McHonky-Donk and potentially Griff McTonky-Bonk.
Oh.
I'll have to see how many different hats and fake mustaches I can smuggle in.
Well, remember, Griff McTonky-Bonk, if you watch the show that you're not on, Phil, is in fact our friend from Joe on Joe podcast, Joe Slepsky.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Knight Rider 2000 historian.
Can either one of them cut the other's head off and take their power with the quickening? That'd be awesome.
No, they just consider that murder.
Okay.
yeah,
Well,
I mean,
if there's no benefit to it, then it's a lot of work.
I mean, what is what contest are they like? What podcast with what's on Joe Mind ties? There can be only one.
Something like that.
I
mean, let's be honest. We usually only have one other show that likes us at a time. So maybe there's
that's
room.
true. That's true.
Look what happened to your lead.
Phil and Joe Slepsky are gonna wrestle next week. That's gonna be next week's episode. We're just gonna cut to ringside.
Good.
And me and Mark will be calling the action.
Right. We should just open with them fighting and go, oh, hell's broken loose in the back.
Oh, God. Jerry.
By God. That man has a family.
Hell, that's it. I'm out of here.
What a mover.
So circle out on your calendars. Phil has SoCal Joe Show happening Sunday, May 19th. While you're in Temecula, visit the McDonald's. I hear it's 3 stars.
Phil, how are you going to get from your house to Temecula?
By the 15.
The 15?
Straight
That sounds
shot
like-
to Vegas, baby.
Well, you can't take the 15. The 5 is jammed.
That's right.
I mean, if you're coming from San Diego, that might be an issue, but
Once in a while, I think twice on trips to Vegas, I flew back from Vegas to Phoenix at like the 10:45 departure out of Vegas. It's like a 1-hour flight. Doesn't matter, right? But given that I barely gamble and don't drink, I was totally cool on the 10:45 flight. And the rest of it looked like a tire store, right? Because anybody in a tire store is either an idiot teenager looking at rims or an adult who doesn't have $400 to drop on tires today, but there they are.
Right.
And on that flight, everybody was gassed, hungover, still tripping, and every one of them lost more money than they wanted to. And they were all trying to get home so they could get to their 8 a.m. job in the morning.
Right.
So the level of despondent panic, barely contained panic on those flights was palpable.
Their
So good.
despair was delicious.
Oh,
it sustains me.
as Dieter from Sprockets would say, the agony was gorgeous.
Coming back to our friends at Roma Collectibles, their parking
yeah.
lot toy show is also happening Sunday, May 19th. If you're not on the left coast, be sure to hit us up here in the Midwest. That is happening at Roma Collectibles, 1030 Upper Valley Pike, Springfield, Ohio. That's in the Roma Collectibles parking lot, so obviously attendance is free, and so is parking. And I mean, shoot, if they space it out well enough, maybe you could just drive from booth to booth. I don't know, just get a nice ring going.
That'd be awesome. if they had
Drive-through toy sale.
Yeah, a drive-through toy show. That's awesome.
There's a gimmick.
Well, I mean, in theory, it's great, right? But the problem at all toy shows is the one booth you want to get to is getting boxed out by the biggest dude in the room, and he's just got all kinds of trivia to share with whoever's running the booth. So that's only going to be worse with a car. So I don't know. I mean, I don't
like driving through the dairy barn.
We'll leave the wonderful folks at Roma Collectibles to work out those logistics. Remember, that's Roma Collectibles, the toy store, 1030 Upper Valley Pike, Springfield, Ohio. Wednesday through Saturday, 12 to 7, Sunday, 12 to 5. Don't make contact with the proprietors.
That'd be something if you could pull up and say, hey, I'll have 3 Cobra Missile Command Centers, please. And they're like, that'll be $4,500. Please pull up. Cool.
That's a bargain.
Would you like fries with that?
That's how much an extra value meal is at McDonald's now anyway. So
the Springfield, Ohio McDonald's is close by the Roma Collectibles parking lot. So you can make that just combo up your trip.
good deal.
The ice cream machine's broken.
Protocol on the parking lot toy show. Make sure that you've got your eyes covered like this because the Roma folks are everywhere. So you never know when accidental eye contact may happen and send them into a blood spurting fury. So
No subtle
be
movements.
careful with that one. No,
Always check for the attacks coming from the side, not
Just
the one you
always-
see in front of you.
right. Always keep it calm. Keep yourself on the DL. I don't know if we help with these live reads. I really don't. I'm not sure.
Concentrate on your peripheral vision.
Right. Just
I mean, I know Ohio's changed in the last couple of years. I didn't think it gotten that bad.
it's,
I mean,
you know,
Clever
the guys
girls
who,
out there.
the guys who played offensive line in high school will understand. You just head on a swivel, stick and move.
Be sure to carry a trident.
the whole state of Ohio has gotten a little bitchy since they started losing to Michigan regularly. So it's dangerous territory these days.
Well.
It's kind of like the Badlands.
Well,
What is it? It's 1,000 days since Ohio State beat Michigan. They're testy.
Man.
Who won between them in basketball? Because I mean, this year they both stunk.
They were both bad.
They don't care.
I think it was just a double.
Nobody cared because they both stunk.
Right. Let's go home. Let's go get beer. And then of course on June 1 to 2, we got the Iron City Comic Con happening in Birmingham, Alabama, at the Birmingham Jefferson Convention Center. Guests include Townsend Coleman, Jim Cummings, John Delancey, Michael Golden, Kane, Ray Park, Rob Paulson, Brent Spiner, and many more. Tickets and information available to you at IronCityComicCon.com. I know it's one of the bigger shows. They probably don't need our help, but shoot, I've just got excited because we never have anything to plug in Alabama. So
Alabama.
I want to see Kane versus Ray Park. That'd be a good match.
I don't think so. I think Ray Park could be done with him in about 3 minutes.
It's probably true. Kane's a redhead, though. Don't forget.
Yeah, but Ray Park actually knows how to fight. Kane can, he's a good pro wrestler and all, but he's also like 100 years old.
Kane lumbers.
He knows how to govern.
Ray Park limbers.
I mean, he's going to have to get by Kane's security detail.
Right. Dustin Jeffrey notes that's Mayor Kane.
That's right.
Will you introduce me to basketball? No, we will not, Cheapest Big Spender. Sorry. But all that going on in Birmingham, Alabama on June 1 and 2. You know what's happening in June? Iron City Comic Con. We'll talk about some other things later. That's it for reviewing the calendar.
Yay.
Phil, what stuck out to you?
Perhaps the SoCal Joe Show, if only because that's a short trip down the road.
That is incorrect. Phil will not be moving on to the lightning round. So thank you, Phil. We appreciate your contributions to the show tonight.
Do I at least get the home game?
No.
And thanks for joining us on the McLaughlin Group. Also known as the Rich Eisen Show.
Something like that.
All I know is you always go for the new door after they open up the first one.
Stay tuned because that coming up now, the season finale of the Deke episodes of Community Calendar. Stay with us. It's happening right here. We get everything resolved. You'll stand and cheer the same way I did. Stay tuned. Community Calendar. Community Calendar. Community Calendar. Community Calendar.
Wait a minute.
They saved Rapcho, Mark.
Well, I appreciate it. But more importantly, that wasn't part of the episode at the end, right? That was just like a title card.
That's the production company, yes. I wish it was more of them, typing at the typewriter than ripping the page back. But I'm old school.
I think it's a tease for season 3.
Where the hell is Ubu? He's supposed to sit.
They saved Rapcho. They took care of the graffiti on your headshot. I mean, there's a lot of pro Weber going on there.
I appreciate that.
And when the little Yeti guy was doing flips, my heart just melted.
Weber equals ratings.
I clapped when I saw little Yeti guy doing his flips. I clapped the first time. I
thought he was dead. How flat he was. I thought he was dead too. There's been a lot of loss this season.
He'd been run over by that tank.
The fact that Absorbids is able to use perspective is more of more animation know-how than I can provide, so I'm not gonna criticize.
I can't do that in Photoshop, so good for him.
No, I got nothing. I got nothing.
Dustin Jeffrey's got the best one.
Yeah, he wants to hear the Bob Newhart meow.
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 The MTM.
Craig Cohan, Staff Sergeant C Nugs for life. We agree. It melted the cockles of my icy heart when I saw the little Yeti guy doing his flips because he was so happy to see Staff.
You should probably see a doctor about that.
It really did. I was stepping in cockle puddles for days.
It's true.
Disgusting.
Kind of sticky.
It's true.
Gross.
Remember, Super Chat is open tonight. Anything you pledge to Super Chat is going to Ron and Val Friedman's GoFundMe. You can catch the link to that down in the description below. So if you've got just a burning question about anything we're talking about, or if you've got just something not related to what we're talking about, just save that for the end segment that we'll get to after the news. So don't forget about that, everybody. But it's time for the news. And of course, if you just absolutely need something to click on in the meantime, the like button is down there, and the subscribe button is over there. You can do those too. If you're catching us on Facebook, be sure to give us some kind of a reaction, like a heart or a thumbs up or a little huggy guy. We do love little huggy guy. Because it's we've been doing this for 13 years. Asking you to click a few things, that's not out of line to ask for return. It's just not.
Let the boy click the like button. He ain't gonna hurt you.
Dustin Jeffrey asks if we can't hear the Bob Newhart meow, can we hear Dr. Saxo, the rock and roll cat? I think that is an absolutely wonderful suggestion. Good job, sir.
Meow, 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 meow.
Special note that Dave McDonald, one of our Sensational 17 coffee backers, gave an extra donation this month, wanting us to get Dr. Saxo in for the show live. And that idea was floated, but frankly, my dad shot it down, so he was not willing to lend the cat out.
He couldn't meet the writers on his contract.
Right,
only home games.
Disappointing.
There wasn't a bus that would pick up the cat.
Right. It would have just been too much. But Cheapest Big Spender notes that there's only 34 likes, and that's Phil's fault. And I agree. That is madness. You guys are getting a little lazy with the like button. I don't like it. Be sure to click the like button that's down there, the little thumbs up thing. We've earned that much. We've earned that much.
It doesn't deliver an electrical shock or anything. You're totally safe.
We had that removed 80 episodes ago, right? Back in the 220s. Joe Colton was still hanging around. Anyways, first up, back in stock at Mark II Design. That is etsy.com/shop/Mark II Design. The Retro Snow Serpent Gear Pack and the classic Vamp Gun back in there for anybody just totally dissatisfied with the selections that have been provided to us by the folks at Hasbro. Mark, what are your feelings on the classic Vamp Gun again?
I looked for it a couple days ago and it wasn't in stock. I'm getting that Vamp Gun tonight because I think the Vamp is a really good vehicle. I don't like the cannon. And so if you don't like the new cannon, guess what? The old cannon's available. So I'm totally down with that. That's going to be in my hot little hands before you know it.
There you go.
Nothing wrong with the Snow Serpent Gear Pack, but I can live with that.
I don't know.
I bought a bunch of Snow Serpents. It's going to be hard to fix all of them. But the Vamp, I only bought one. I only got to buy one gun to fix that Vamp.
I mean, look at that. It comes with a free $2,000 tripod.
That's a good point.
X-Ray Bandicoot says 34. So, okay, great. Keep clicking. And thank you for showing up, X-Ray Bandicoot. That's a new name. Welcome to the show. So in stock, check it out tonight. Etsy.com/shop/Mark2Design. Next news item. Oh, little Mungo Jerry.
Okay. I don't know the rest of it. So.
Have a drink, have a drive, go out and see what you can find.
Yeah, man.
It's back.
I'm not sure we should have looped this.
Oh, why not?
Hey, remember, Armor 4 has revealed its theme, and it is Eco Warriors. That is happening on June 1st. So be sure to pre-order your gear kit from Codename Iowa today. That is at codenameiowa.com/store. I know we talked about this last week, but we want to make sure the word gets out there. It's only a few weeks from now. We got to get these things sold, man. Got to sell out our Operation Armor 4. Because that's what we do for this community. Darn it, we try to sell out their virtual events. Operation Armor is the virtual con that's put on by the folks at Codename Iowa. We're probably better known for Assembly Required every November. But, they started this one up during the pandemic, and it was pretty cool. So they decided to keep doing it. Phil, are you signed up?
Articulated points is, but I will not be making the presentation. That's on Patrick.
What? Phil.
With the trumpets going.
It's a little hard to concentrate with the trumpets going.
What?
I'm a professional,
The trumpet's broken.
I'm just, look, if he's going to actually have instrumentation to lay down that line, how do you not play this until I have to play this until Rob comes on screen with a lit torch threatening me, Frankenstein style, to stop. And we're nowhere close to that.
What if you can only find a pitchfork?
I get it. Yeah.
I'll light the pitchfork.
Right. That's not nearly as effective.
Says you. Wrap some oily rags around those tines.
Oh, look, everybody. Bart hates the horns. That's
Turn
only
them up.
egging me on.
Bart's not alone. Or maybe he is. I don't know.
Right? I don't know. I still love him, so that's really all that matters, isn't it?
Look, the last time I played music this long, we got demonetized.
Right. This is an original creation. Like, there's nobody out there holding a copyright to take this from it. Nobody. This is ours.
I was gonna say it's hard to dude over.
Next news item.
Do 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 do.
Hey, speaking of Kickstarters. Were we speaking of Kickstarters? I don't know if we were.
We
Wait.
really weren't.
We should be.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if we can actually do this technically. But did you just say Kickstarter?
Well, we can do it, Mark.
Yeah, that was good. I don't want to be the guy who
Remix.
complains, but I wanted to hear the horns with the guitar. The guitar is too powerful.
Yeah, it's
It,
too loud.
it takes over.
It's too loud.
We'll have to remix it.
You gotta work the sliders.
We'll fix it in post.
That's it.
Always fix it in post. But congratulations to Dan Klingensmith. Volumes 14 and 15 of Creating G.I. Joe are funded and in the can, and they hit their stretch goals, and so their slipcovers coming. It's all going to look pretty and fancy now. So great job to everybody who got this done. Great job to Dan and everyone who contributed to the book on making the book. Congratulations on the conclusion of a very successful series. Great job.
Absolutely.
Mark Weber, what you drinking tonight?
Just water.
All right. Fair
Boring.
enough.
but healthy.
During the community calendar outro, you're sneaking a snack, man. What you got?
I got one bite left of a brownie chocolate chip cookie.
Man,
So
you always bring quality snackage to the show, Mark.
it's good stuff. Unless everybody's asleep, so I can have as many as I want.
So if Mark disappears halfway through the next segment, we know what's up.
If I start getting suddenly offensive, or my humor gets even worse, and I get banned a lot, that's a cookie run, baby.
Right?
It's not the whiskey in the mug. Water of life.
Water of life.
Next news item.
Oh, wait a minute. I just snuck a little bit of cookie that was falling off it. Let's go with do.
Rolling
Hey, it's
Stones.
more Kickstarter news. Our friend Ryan Drost from Star Joe's, his comic book project Stealth Hammer, is still going on Kickstarter. That is funding through May 7th. We're getting down into the home stretch. Got another week to go. I think this will be on next week's show, but after that, it's pretty much done. This one's it's volume 3. It's called The Guardian and the Guide. It's all about Ari the elf, the dude who's center screen there, our favorite strawberry milk drinking crackpot. Ragtime Rob.
Yes.
Do you have an update for us as our lead Kickstarter correspondent?
I do. On a goal of $6,500, it is at $5,825.
Good gravy, it's still getting so close. But again, still a good jump from last week. So proud of everybody for getting the word out. Remember, even if you're not interested in the book yourself, make sure to spread the word about it. Post it up in all of your geeky Facebook groups and Reddit pages and all that stuff, because word of mouth is important on things like this. They've always got low goals, but it's always just...
Hey, so do I.
Right. I mean, believe me, this is the show all about low goals. But each individual sale, none of them move the needle a whole lot. There's only $5, $8 a pop. So every sale is important. It's important to get these to as many eyeballs as you can. So thank you for continuing to do that with Stealth Hammer, but don't give up now. We're heading into the last week. We still got a little work to do. Ragtime Rob, you read the first 2 issues?
Yeah, it's been a while. I probably need to go back and get them again.
All right, fair enough.
But I liked them. I pledged to the third one.
Josiah Alcorn asks, can we please have Horns Over Kokomo Toys ad again? Yeah, we can do that for you. You've given us money like 8 times tonight, so. Jake Rose asks, are those Oregon brownies?
No, I'm all natural, baby.
So are they.
Well, I mean, so yeah, that's not really a disqualifier.
Yeah, kids don't do drugs. Everybody else is.
Jake also adds that the other night he was listening to the audio recast, fell asleep and had dreams with the horns all night.
Yes.
Oh. Goodness.
Phil's dying with all his
Justin Jeffrey notes that the horns almost sound like Dr. Stoxo. Who am I to deny him another attempt to get Dr. Stoxo on the screen? So.
Meow. 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 Meow.
He's a pampered brute.
Gonna go fight a baby kangaroo.
Right? Oh God. I'm punching. That's always dangerous on an anniversary show. Next news item.
I'm trying to find the song here. I'm actually scrolling through my phone going, what do we got here that's good? Okay. Do 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 do.
You have Duran Duran on your phone?
Hey, back off. That's Bond, Simon LeBon.
Ragtime Rob has no discernible tastes of his own, so he has no room to criticize anybody else. Hey, it's more Kickstarter news.
Oh,
Wait, where'd the button go? I lost it. This is announced earlier today, which didn't make me happy because you know how I feel about Tuesday news drops. But Skybound announced that they are putting together a hardcover Real American Hero Compendium set that will be funded on Kickstarter. Do I have more details? Yes, I do. This is going to include all comics published by Marvel in the 90s, 80s, and 90s, including G.I. Joe Special Missions, G.I. Joe vs. Transformers, and more. Order of Battle is going to be in there too. It will be in a hardcover format. This is not to be confused with the softcover trade paperbacks announced earlier this spring. Those are still happening. It's a different format. And of course, secret bonuses. You can sign up either on Skybound's website or at Kickstarter, get on the mailing list. I think if you're on Skybound's website, you qualify for bonuses on top of the bonuses. So be sure to get that there. And of course, Kickstarter, I think the Kickstarter page is what's in the description down below. But make sure you're covering all the bases on that one. We've got it up on our social media as well. So if you have any real questions after the show, hit us up on Facebook. You'll see it there.
I never quite understood how that works legally from an IP standpoint, because those are Marvel comics originally, right?
Right.
So does Marvel get a cut? Is that how it works?
I don't think so.
I think they were produced by Marvel under license from Hasbro, so Hasbro technically owns the issues.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they can license them wherever.
I think Marvel had a piece of it, and they sold it when IDW bought it.
That's why the first reprints from IDW of the Transformers series were problems, because you have Spider-Man and show up there and the whole circuit breaker thing mess. Yeah. So.
Cheapest Big Spender with another super chat. He is requesting Jimmy Buffett. That should be cause to kick him out of the chat. But
yeah, guess what? Can't do it. Can't do it. Jimmy Buffett sucks. Oh, ain't no Jimmy Buffett on this phone.
Are you seriously doubting the genius of the man who penned Cheeseburger in Paradise?
I gotta say, I got Kermit the Frog on my phone. There ain't no Jimmy Buffett on this phone.
That's a visceral reaction to Jimmy Buffett there. He's not my favorite, but there's a few songs I like.
I'm not saying he sucks. He just never did much for me.
Right. Same. Anybody who can sing 4 minutes about a cheeseburger is at least okay in my book to hang out with. So
I'll give him that.
Right. I can't just dismiss him offhand.
I've been trying to figure out the deeper meaning of his songs for about 40 years now, and I ain't quite got it yet.
Yeah, I don't think they're that deep.
No. I'm a fan of Pencil Thin Mustache. It's a good song.
Maybe you should grow one.
Not one. I wish. If I could, I'd be doing that all the time, man. But anybody have any thoughts here? Like, what is Skybound doing here? But I think it's pretty obvious what they're doing here.
It can't be a bad thing. If you need them, go get them.
Right.
If you have a whole original run, don't worry about it.
Right. I think that's just kind of a fail-safe. Joe fans are notoriously fickle. So as we saw with IDW, the reprints of the early issues when they did them were really strong. And then as we got into the triple digits, they tailed off considerably. And the fans that wanted to collect those issues were kind of left out in the cold.
Yeah,
so,
I don't like that. If you start something, you better finish it.
Right.
In their original trade paperbacks, they did finish.
But not the hardcovers, as
not
my shelf shows right there.
Yeah. You don't have any room on that shelf, though, Phil.
Phil is angry.
It's filled with paperbacks to complete it.
He can't crowd out with more Baroness paraphernalia and then claim that, oh, my books are just on a different shelf.
You got
one Baroness.
I think, with 4 big ones, though.
Next news item. I love that I'm just continuing to play the soft reggae.
I'm glad someone likes it.
Skybound announced this week, or rather firmed up, the Duke trade paperback is still expected. Online, they gave us a date of late May. In the comic book, if you look in the back of Duke 5, it says June. So we'll just cover all the bases there, split the difference. Of course, this is a collection of Dukes 1 through 5. It's rated A for action. We see the cover for Duke 1 is used for one of the trade paperback covers. The alternate cover is the cover from Duke number 4. And that's the one that's got Stalker and Rock and Roll and Clutch and Baroness jumping in the Ram cycle in the background. That one's pretty cool, too. So be on the lookout for it at your local comic shop. If you missed out on the single issues of Duke, and chances are you did, because Lord knows they went through a couple printings on each copy, on each book. If you don't want to worry about tracking those down, trade paperback's a good way to go, and you don't have to wait long to do it. So we'll have a firm date on that, I'm sure, in the coming weeks. Steve Young, two-time All-Pro, asked, think Devil's Due and Image will get the compendium treatment?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Depends on how well the Marvel one does, because if Marvel doesn't make it, the others aren't.
Right. Fair enough. But Michael Gene Fleming says, doesn't want to go, but if I don't go work in the morning, they won't give me money to participate in Kickstarter, so good night. Well, we thank you, Michael Gene Fleming. Thank you for tuning in tonight.
That's our economics professor,
Right.
Michael Gene Fleming.
Economics specialist.
Right. Summed up more succinctly by Mr. T when he said, gotta get work.
Gotta get to work.
Gotta get work.
Gotta fight some food.
Firefly notes that he's disappointed there was no Skybound drop to Dookie joke when any of these issues were announced. We're better than that, frankly.
And we're afraid of Diana.
Yeah, that too.
So, yeah. Poke fun at Skybound and Duke at the same time. Look out. California is pretty much next to every state. So
that's a list I don't need to be on.
Nope.
Yeah,
Not at all.
he's going to be in a room with us in June too, isn't he?
I don't know. I don't know. Phil, are you going to Joe Fest? I don't know if we ever asked you.
Probably not.
Come on, Phil.
It's the other side of the country, man.
Whatever, man. Drive.
Yeah.
As I give the worst argument.
Just get on.
That'll talk him into it.
Phil, just get on the 10, man. You'll get there.
Ride the rails, Phil.
Hop on
You
the
can get
405. You'll be there in no time.
You can get a direct flight to Augusta. You just have to go through John Wayne Airport. That's how it works.
That's actually the closest one to me.
Look at that. Convenient.
Right? Phil's not in LA proper. He's closer to Anaheim with all the townies and the rednecks.
Right? And Mike Trout's missing.
Rednecks.
Mike
Trout,
Where exactly do you think Orange County is located?
Look, man, it's relatively speaking.
out in Oxnard by the onion fields, right?
Right.
Bakersfield?
Something field.
Sacramento?
Oh, no, that's up by Fresno.
So very cold.
Tahoe?
Next news item.
Let's go with. I gotta pick a good one. Then I had it and then I lost it.
Well, we just got the horn, so I'm moving on.
Yeah, move it. I'll
Got
get
some
another one
Skybound bits. G.I. Joe Real American Hero 306 preview pages are online now. And then on May 8th, we've got Transformers 8, the Transformers trade paperback volume 1, which collects issues 1 through 6, and then the Energon Universe special for 2024, with a cool shot of Optimus and Megatron duking it out on the cover. So
That Universe special might actually be Saturday on the 4th, because it's a free comic book day release, right?
Maybe. Look, all I know is
I think that they're selling another version of it on the 8th.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if their free comic was a few pages out of that book, but I don't know.
I think they're double dipping.
Yeah, maybe. Dennis Fleming noting that his son Gene will just spend his inheritance now on G.I. Joe to avoid inflation, and it also ducks out on those nasty inheritance taxes.
Yeah, there you
It's
go.
not a bad plan. It's not a bad plan. It's like real estate, right?
Sure.
Andrew Galgan asks, does Phil live behind the orange curtain?
Kind of.
I love that. Mark Weber, why so quiet?
I'm just listening to the horns.
He's being lulled to sleep.
Are
by
they
the
slowly
dulcet
driving you
tones of a-
insane?
4 voices are a lot. And when you can't hear any of them, that's what I call a bad programming decision. Oh, look at this. We're back.
If you'd like, I can turn on without horns.
Better. I'll be honest with you. Better.
I disagree, but if it makes you stop crying, then
I'm saying I used to have a stage and a solo performance. And now I'm fighting for musical time on my own show, man. What's up with that? So much so I didn't even have my dupes in line the last time my number got called.
look, man, we're counting on you to be a pro here, Mark.
I'm telling you, these are oppressive conditions. But I'm locked and loaded for the next one.
Look, this is an anniversary show. We've got a musical track that was made for us for free by one of our fans. I got to use it for a few weeks, right?
I'm digging it. I'm getting back into it.
I gotta. And he was
Don't they play
thoughtful
this
enough
at
to
all
also
the
send us a
functions
version with no horns.
In case we weren't feeling horny.
Right. Which,
Ooh.
and this sausage fest is probably for the best.
Yeah, I think you're right. You got something there.
Next news item.
Do 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 do.
I don't even know what it is.
do. Never tear us apart, man. Classic. I just didn't get to the hook.
I keep forgetting what a secret NXS honk you are.
Not secret. Underrated band.
No, I just don't think it's ever come up on the show before.
Fair enough.
Anyways, the G.I. Joe 3D Printing Podcast is proud to present Chunky Tank Kitty and his Meowler Tank, and that means that we are at the end of the news. But be sure to check out the G.I. Joe 3D Printing Podcast, wherever you get your podcasts from. The folks involved there, whether Mike and Mark are helping us out with some stuff that will be taken care of at Joe Fest this June. We'll have more details for you after a quick word from our friends at Kokomo Toys.
We buy, sell, and trade vintage and modern toys. G.I. Joe, Star Wars, Transformers, Marvel, DC, and more. Located in beautiful downtown Kokomo, Indiana, we are open every Wednesday through Saturday from 12 to 5. It's a theme park of nostalgia. Join the thousands of people who have traveled from all over the Midwest for over a decade to buy and sell with us. Get your geek on.
Phil, we have a request. Dustin Jeffrey wants some trash can churros. So if you could.
Those are not open air trash cans, man. Security's gonna see me sticking my torso in there.
Look, man, it's an
They'll probably
anniversary.
say something.
It's an anniversary show. I think you need to put in a little effort.
It's so sticky, and it smells funny.
How come
And the trash can talk.
How come Torpedo 83 has to have the best song request after I'm done duding?
Do, 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 do.
It's already a dude.
Right?
Dude, dude, dude.
It's half the song,
Next time.
right? Just keep it in mind.
Question
Anyways,
is, what is a phenomena?
we got some cool What's on Joe Mind merchandise floating around Joe Fest this year, like we did last year. We weren't even there. Mark, were you there last year? I forget.
I wasn't even there.
All right. Mark or Phil, were you there last year?
I was not.
Of course not. You won't
I'm
drive.
consistent.
You won't even drive.
Before
But
even
if you
drive.
have any
Don't drive the
earth-shattering,
4,000 miles.
if you have some earth-shattering pressing questions that you just absolutely have to ask, this is the time. as we have very little planned for the rest of the show. It's also a good time to hit up the the super chat. Remember, all proceeds from the super chat tonight go to the GoFundMe for Ron and Val Friedman. The link to that is down below. So even if you don't hit us up in super chat, be sure to tag that down there. That's a more efficient donation, certainly. But if you got something that I can promise you is going to be on the air, super chat's the way to do it. That's how super chats work. We don't do them very often. We don't like skimming money from you that way. But this is for a good cause. We always have charity in mind when the super chat is on. So if we've got super chat going, it's for all the best reasons. Yeah, Phil tried, but the 5 was jammed. Dustin Jeffrey has your back, Phil.
As always.
Appreciate it.
Firefly has an actual G.I. Joe product related question.
I know, honest to God.
I'm not sure if we do that here.
Not related to anything, we know. Does anyone here remember if the canopy on a hurricane is supposed to be slightly brown? I am restoring one and can't tell if it's yellowed or normal. I think that is not quite normal. I think on the hurricane, aren't they normally yellow?
I thought the hurricane was a dark, smoky gray.
I don't remember offhand. Phil, you're our Yojo guy. Come on, help us out on that one. I
want to say smoky gray sounds right.
Okay. All right. I might have the wrong.
Yeah, that's what it looks like here.
Great toy, though. Love that toy.
Josiah Alcorn with another super chat. More embarrassing resume entry. Featured on Best of Backyard Wrestling 4 or former Juggalo World Champion?
Juggalo.
Both.
Lead wrestling correspondent Mark Weber, what do you think?
Oh, we were just talking about the ICP last week, right? Mike Awesome, or was that off the air?
I think that was off the air. I don't know if we had that in the show itself.
Like, I got no time for the ICP or the Juggalos. When they showed up in WCW, I'm like, oh, these guys. But then they actually came to the ring, had matches, and took a beating like no other. So,
as I said, they earned my respect the day Mike Awesome powerbombed the skinny one off the back of a school bus.
Right?
I mean,
I'm like, most stars who show up don't get involved physically at all. And if they do, then the wrestlers have to bump like crazy and make the stars look tough. But for them to show up and just get the hell beat out of them, you know what? All right. No problem. Hold on, let me paint my face.
Right. We may make fun of their science prowess, but you can't diss the size of their heart.
So. This goes out to all my juggalos and juggalettes out there. Whoop whoop.
So I guess the answer to that is the answer to that former Juggalo World Champion is actually the better entry.
Yeah.
Best of Backyard Wrestling 4 is the more embarrassing resume entry.
If you've never seen Superhuman with 2 M's, get yourself to YouTube in about 45 minutes.
Firefly says he didn't mean for us to read that, but I was asking look, we're the ones with the G.I. Joe show with the dude who ran the brand at Hasbro. We're actually trying to position ourselves as the experts here.
Yeah. I spent $100 on a factory mop kit. I think I've got skin in the game.
Jake Rose asked, for us in Facebook land, can you explain how to participate in Super Chat? And by us, I mean me. In Super Chat, unfortunately, Super Chat in Facebook is not an option. So if you're on Facebook, Super Chat is not an option available to you tonight, I'm afraid. But of course, you can always donate directly to Ron's GoFundMe using the link down in the description below.
Much like
that way they get all the
Super
money.
Chat is not an option.
Dave McDonald asks, for Classified Nemesis Enforcer, would you like movie or now comics? So I guess how would you prefer him to be personified? I didn't see too much of a difference between the two, other than comic book Nemesis Enforcer is a lot more verbose, but that's not really something that's conveyed in an action figure. I think they're going to look pretty much the same either way. What do you say, Racktime Rob?
I'll say comic book.
Yeah, a lot more interesting. He was cool in the movie, but in comic book version is much more interesting. Phil, what do you say?
European Missions Nemesis Enforcer, where he shows up for one panel and is never mentioned again.
Okay. Mark Weber.
They're both going to be just as good as the other. How's that for diplomatic? It's like all the, except for Sky Strikers, like all the Tiger Force guys, they're all tied.
Uncool.
Mm-hmm. I think that was biting my tongue, which is hard to do.
We know
in a fine manner.
Craig Cohen, more unfortunate GI Joe name, Stalker or Skidmark? Skidmark.
Skidmark.
Not even.
Skidmark by a
I
mile.
gotta believe somebody did that as a gag, and it just got passed along, and no one ever fixed it. Come on,
I just the colloquialism just hadn't caught up yet.
Mm.
You know, it was there, but it wasn't quite as predominant as it is now. Yeah.
It was still pretty much referring to what you leave behind in your tires.
Right, as opposed to your undershorts.
Yeah.
But now things have kind of flopped because we're a much more sarcastic society, and we have to be just to survive.
Mm.
Josiah Alcorn with another super chat. Which Joe sub-team concept would make the best movie and the worst? Mark Weber, you seem to have thoughts on this. Why don't you go ahead?
I mean, people are laying odds that I'm going to say Tiger Force, but I'm going to go with Echo Warriors. Ooh.
Are we talking best or worst?
Rough movie. Who's going to see the Echo Warriors movie? Come on.
I agree.
Mm.
So what do you think would be the best?
Well, Night Force is the best. Or done properly with a kind of horror twist to it, Mega Marines, right? Done right, that would be cool. Can you imagine that Play-Doh on the big screen?
Yeah. You know, I'm not a Mega Marines guy, but if you're going to do a movie up right, yeah, that wouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, I'm not.
I mean, that's just Aliens, but
right.
Yeah, which I like. So
best one obviously is going to be Night Force, just because it's the best military in darker colors. But
obviously,
worst one, Forza Farah. 4 guys with their tiny animal companions.
Look, the big boa repaint had a kangaroo, so you're wrong. That's the best one.
The tiny kangaroo has to fight the tiny bear for dominance.
You know what? That would have made a great Hanna-Barbera cartoon.
It's just become Pokemon, the G.I. Joe years.
Right, and that is at the best of my run now. That is on the best list for me. Rack time, Rob. What do you say?
I think you broke Rob.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll just move on. We don't need. It's a good. But so again, Forza Farah for me, and then worst. I don't know. Like I don't mind Tiger Force, but I can't argue that there's a whole lot of a point to it. So that's probably the worst.
Could you imagine the payoff to the Battle Force 2000 movie, where it's all the shit is coming down, and they go to Ford in the Future Fortress, and it doesn't fit together, and they all die, and then here comes the battle wagon.
You know, that battle wagon that carries a lot of corpses.
It does.
No. The mobile battle bunker.
Battle bunker. Yeah.
Oh, that was
the battle wagon was the thing that almost sunk Kirk.
Yeah, battle wagon almost killed Kirk. Yeah, that's different. Battle wagon almost killed Kirk Bazigian. Anyways, coming up at Joe Fest, our friend Patchzar has put together this Staff Sergeant C-Nugs What's on Joe Mind flag patch. This is going to be available only at Joe Fest, June 21 to 23 in Augusta, Georgia. Price and availability to be determined. I think it's going to be however many he's got is how many he's got time to make. But again, all of this goes to him. We're not getting a piece of this at all, and that's how it should be. He does all the work. But if you see Patchzar, and Lord knows you should be stopping by to see Patchzar, be sure to pick up one of these little dudes. Just look at Staff Sergeant C-Nugs there. He's adorable. Look at his little flag.
Yeah.
However
many he's making, subtract 4 from it.
Right.
Because we may not be getting paid, but we at least get to be front and center, first in line.
Right. We're absolutely buying these. I'm not taking money out of his mouth for him, but we're absolutely buying these. So whatever it is, -4, that at this point, that might be -2, but I'm sure he'll have more done before June 21st. So
this is not to say this is an indictment of our audience, but please do not eat these.
No, do not. That's if you want to dip them in sauces, that's up to you, but don't eat them. I would even lick the sauce off of them because otherwise bees.
Not beads.
Bees.
Okay.
Bees. The bees.
I got that reference.
Also, Mark II Design is working on a Staff Sergeant C-Nugs in action figure. You can see there cut out in all his 3D glory. He is also available at Joe Fest from June 21 to 23. I think he's making 50 of these. I'm not sure. Don't hold me to that. But again, they're going to be available while supplies last.
Is that gun compatible with a retro-carded beachhead?
I think it's the same size, but it is its own gun. It's a little bit light on details. It is very clearly that's what it's modeled after, but I think it's dumbed down on purpose.
Yeah, but more realistically colored.
More, yes, certainly than his classified counterpart.
You can
But,
draw on the details with a Sharpie.
So if you don't want a patch, or if you want something to go with your patch, hey, here's Staff Sergeant C-Nugs in action figure. The good news is he's just as posable as the real thing.
Mm-hmm.
Is he
So-
compatible with my stands?
Maybe.
If your stand is just leaning it against the books on the shelf, yes.
Right.
I don't have the specifics on this. I got a hold of the boys this week. I was like, hey, give me something to sell on the show this week. It's our anniversary show. People might tune in. It turns out I was wrong. But
Hey.
Hey, we figure our absolute diehards are going to be in the house. So we probably ought to show off some pictures because Joe Fest isn't that far away. It's less than 2 months at this point. Phil has time to book a flight and still not pay through the nose. So Josiah Alcorn with another super chat. Thank you, sir. Coolest What's on Joe Mind shirt to wear at Joe Fest. Well, that's an easy one. How about this one? The Greetings from Joe Fest design, which is on sale tonight. Tonight, the sale ends. You can get this bad boy for 35% off. You can get all kinds of other merchandise at deep, deep discounts. It's one of those crazy TeePublic sales. We got our TeePublic site to the What's on Joe Mind swag shop down below in the description as well. So you can hit that up. That is good through the wee hours of the morning, and I think it's done at like 2 a.m. Eastern. So if you're still needing one, hey, go get it now because it's a heck of a lot less expensive. I think $16 with that when you figure in that discount gets you the all new Greetings from Joe Fest design at the What's on Joe Mind swag shop. Get it whatever color you want: blue, red, black, tie dye. I got all kinds of options for you. Pink? You want a pink one?
Our
We can do pink.
troops.
You don't have to do the black T-shirt like everybody else. You can get whatever color you want. I always go with blue.
Mm-hmm.
Black T-shirts are so overdone. Everybody does black T-shirts. It's gone.
Black t-shirt.
That's fine. You're at home though.
That way they can't tell how bad your pit sweats are in the black t-shirt.
Look, that's true, but sometimes you just got to be cooler.
And if
I
you
have
were,
Sometimes you
if
just
you
have to
were
use that
cooler,
modern invention deodorant.
if
Right.
you were cooler, you wouldn't have the pit sweats.
Right.
Hey.
I abide by the John Cena rule of merchandise, right? We're all about them fruity pebbles. But Phil, you're completely blocked out by the super chat. How do you feel?
It's my face says it all.
Well done.
Josiah Alcorn, he knows how to plug the damn show. He knows how to plug the damn t-shirts. So that's what we have going on at Joe Fest right now. Stay tuned. We may have more things to add to that list as we get close to the blessed event. Andrew Goggin, thank you so much, sir. Since we agree we need G.I. Joe programming to go with the toys, cartoon, live action, both, and what would be everybody's brief elevator pitch for it? Good God. That's not a detailed question or anything. Let's break this down a little bit. If you had to take just one piece of multimedia, what would you develop first, Mark Weber?
I mean, there's pie in the sky and then there's realistic, right?
Right.
So pie in the sky, I'd love a cartoon, but one that was adult enough that adults would like it, but not so adult that kids couldn't watch it. And that's a hard line to walk, but That's what I like. That's what I like most, pie in the sky. The thing I think is actually realistic, if they put together just some short web comics, right? Just something to introduce it outside of the comic continuity. Something that a kid might click on and like.
You mean web comics or webtoons?
Either. I don't care.
Okay. All right.
But today's kid is so digital that if you
Right.
don't have digital activation for your brand, you're never going to land what kids you might be able to get. And I know a lot of brands and a lot of toy companies in general are throwing their hands up and just going, you can't get today's kid. I'm like, well, I think you have to work harder than ever for it.
Right.
But
You're definitely not going to get them if you don't try.
absolutely. And if you're not digital on some level, then you're not even trying.
You mean like scanning a QR code on the package to get the stats and then having it not take you where it's supposed to go?
Something like that. Or having a web page that's updated every 4 years. Like
it doesn't. Yeah. It's not even there anymore.
Yeah.
Ragtime Rob, what would you take as the one piece of G.I. Joe programming?
I think I would go cartoon. I'm in agreement with Mark. He's, a lot of these other properties have managed to hit the cartoon like sweet spot where it's getting new kids, and it's still, keeping the old fans. So we need to take a swing at that.
Phil, are you in the animation boat or are you wrong?
Oh, no, I am in the animation boat. I'm thinking like my adventures with Superman sort of level where it can still be accessible to kids, but still have like an overall storyline to bring in adults. That's kind of where I would bring it in.
Right. Look, there's so many shows out there these days that are all ages accessible. And there's shows of all different types, whether they're the afternoon variety. One of my favorite shows ever is Phineas and Ferb, right? That is totally a Disney kid show.
Coming back.
But it is so well done that I promise you, if you sit and watch an episode or two, you'll be hooked like I was way back in the day. I got hooked enough that I hooked other people's kids on it. And their parents didn't hate me afterwards. So that right there that's enough right there to say it's a seal of approval. So there's lots of talented writers out there that are capable of pulling off an all ages appropriate G.I. Joe adventure, or maybe a tweens, early teens type of show, which is an audience, right? Kids have access to Netflix, kids have access to Hulu, they have access to Max. These shows exist, and there's no reason why G.I. Joe shouldn't be clogging up that space in your bandwidth.
But where's Perry?
Right. Craig Cohen, He-Man, Transformers, Thundercats, great. Glad they all got the treatment at some point recently. And nothing for Real American Hero. That's some nonsense. And the old excuse, they have guns, doesn't work because all of these other things involve guns and violence.
And there's always something going on with Turtles and Power Rangers, right? Probably the two most
well, not with Power Rangers right now, but
it won't be long though, right? Like, come on now.
Sir James notes that he's sick of the main five. Give me Shipwreck, Footloose, and Dusty, Lost in the Desert, and an action comedy. I'm on. I'll rubber stamp that bad boy.
Star Brigade, baby.
Yeah, Firefly notes, Final Faction has a cartoon with multiple episodes and G.I. Joe doesn't. It's embarrassing. Very true. Let's see. I'm going through the live chat, so bear with me.
I will say your train of thought derailed.
No, I'm just reading through it all. I want to make sure I don't miss any super chats because we have one. Josiah Halcorn asks, more controversial wrestling take than maskless Rey Mysterio was the best Rey Mysterio. That's not a controversial wrestling take. That's a terrible wrestling take.
Blasphemy.
Right? Maskless Rey Mysterio was also the only run Rey had as a heel, and it was just front to back wrong.
He looked like a fourth grader.
Yeah, he was 12. Like he looks a little older than that now because he's 50 years old. That's right. Rey Mysterio Jr. is older than me. And that makes me feel bad every day I get out of bed and parts of my body crack. But Mark Weber, your most controversial wrestling take, as you are full of controversial wrestling takes.
Would this be a reckless hot take?
It might be. Wait for it.
I'm getting I was already getting the button set, so you're reading my mind.
Wait for it. Don't jump me here. Ric Flair was not the real Nature Boy. The real Nature Boy was Buddy Landell. Where's my reckless latte? I love that there's, if you're an old school wrestling geek historian, there's Buddy Rogers, one of the greatest ever, the Nature Boy. There's Ric Flair, probably the greatest ever, the other Nature Boy. And sandwiched in the middle, but not just sandwiched, overlapping almost completely with Nature Boy Ric Flair is Nature Boy Buddy Landell, who was just frigging awful.
I started to laugh and it actually moved off the button, so I had to stop and collect the button.
Right? It'd be like a guy showing up today and just saying, "I'm the Rock,"
and it's not Morocco, right? It's
no,
like,
no, you're not.
He's got some claim there, but it's kind of been taken at this point.
Yeah, but to show up at the same time and be to be the Dollar Tree Ric Flair. And go, I'm the Nature Boy. No, you're not.
Wrestling was a regional thing back then, man. You could get away with that sort of thing. See, Zaymot CGC liked Buddy Landell in Memphis.
It's Landell. And I get accused of being a Cornette parrot quite a bit. Cornette loves Buddy Landell, and he's dead wrong. Loves Cody Rhodes, too.
Yeah, Firefly says he was great in Mid-South, then he got into drugs. Well, whatever. But yeah,
there were plenty of wrestlers on drugs who didn't suck.
Right.
I'm just saying.
And the fact that he's trying to do the same gimmick as Ric Flair, just really like even if he's not terrible, right? The difference between Buddy Landell and the Nature Boy Ric Flair, I mean, just the difference in quality there says that
yeah, that's a bad idea.
I don't know if I could top that, man. Between you and Josiah Alcorn, I think you got the big two.
Pretty hot.
I can't come up with a worse wrestling hot take than that. Other than maybe Tyrus should still be NWA champion. But that's so clearly fake because nobody thinks Tyrus should have ever been NWA champion.
Demolition was better than the Road Warriors. Jinder Mahal was the greatest world champion of all time.
Look, you know what? But he wasn't the worst.
That's true.
A little too much hate out there for Jinder these days. Jinder on the microphone is a good thing. Unfortunately, it's backed up by Jinder in the ring, which is not as great.
Not his fault. They made him champion, right?
Right.
If they hadn't done that, he would have been any one of a number of mid-card bad guys that are fine.
Right. He did his best. God. Before I forget, let's go ahead and talk about our friends over at Bandcamp. On this episode of What's on Joe Mind, we are excited to feature a funny podcast perfect for anyone who hates censorship, and that should be all of you. It's called Bandcamp, and the hilarious duo of Jennifer and Dan host it. Bandcamp is a comedy podcast where they read banned books and try to figure out why they were banned in the first place. Currently, they are into A Stitch in Time. I believe they're up to chapter 8. They are reading it one chapter at a time out loud. If you think banning books will lead to a not so great future, and it will, then Bandcamp is for you. Whether you're like Jennifer, curious to read the book for the first time, or like Dan, and you like your reading without all that reading, you'll love Bandcamp. That's Bandcamp with 2 N's, available on your favorite podcast player. Be sure to subscribe today. Let's all get band together. Now let's see what waiting to see what embarrassing shit Rob was up to, but
I was on my best behavior trying to balance this QR code on my non-existent eyebrows.
You still have the ridge there for the skeleton, the skull ridge there. So you're
my friend. They're there. I should color them in just to freak everybody out one day. Right?
make him like really arch high. You know?
Yeah, I'll do the Annette Funicello. It'll be great.
And then just talk about how you like Skippy peanut butter all night.
That's right. And beach blanket bingo. And if you needed a net funicello on your bingo card, you're welcome.
Craig Cohan says that Ric Flair is overrated. That I said it. You know what? There's so much that gets said about Ric Flair these days. That is possible. I'm not gonna dismiss that out of hand because I have seen people that give him a little more credit than he did. But and as an English teacher, he must subscribe to Bandcamp. Josiah Alcorn asks, do we have a tally on what we raised for Ron? No, I wasn't keeping track.
We are expected to do math.
Come on.
I was told there would be no math.
Up over $40 at this point. So I think we've had several $10 donations. There's 5, 7, 9. Mark, come up with a reckless hot take while I count.
Sid Vicious is the greatest luchador of all time. Just magic in the air.
I didn't say ridiculous. I said reckless.
Oh,
Andy Kaufman was the greatest wrestler of all time.
You know what?
He'd be higher on the list than a lot of guys. So
Man could take a pile driver. I'll give him that. Reckless hot take.
Greatest wrestling match of all time: Bugs Bunny versus the Crusher.
I'm telling you,
that's not reckless at all.
that is Stitch in Time. Stitch in Time will save time,
especially with a needle.
So, just passing by.
Hi,
Thought I'd stop by and say hello.
To answer Josiah Alcorn, $71 is what has been raised for Ron and Val.
Oh, very good.
I like it.
Dustin Jeffrey, Skippy peanut butter tastes burnt. Was a Jif fan, but got salmonella from it.
Oh,
Holy hell!
that's rough.
Yeah, that ain't no good.
The best peanut butter was Superman peanut butter.
Well, we agree.
It was good peanut butter.
It was quality peanut butter. Rob, what peanut butter do we buy?
Skippy.
All
I
right.
still have a jar. I use it as a pen holder.
I thought you meant sealed. Like, don't open it. Man.
Ooh.
Don't open it.
Torpedo 83 wants to know our worst celebrity
I
wrestling
believe it's
match.
kryptonite now.
Zaymot CGC says LT versus Bam Bam. I disagree with that wholeheartedly. Bam Bam Bigelow did a yeoman shift in that one, and LT was okay because he's a great athlete.
Yeah.
It's not a great match, but it's a decent celebrity match. Should it have been the main event of a WrestleMania? Absolutely not, but it doesn't make it a bad match. What do you say, Mark?
I mean, Johnny Knoxville versus Sami Zayn was pretty friggin' rotten.
Yeah, but you hate humor in your wrestling like Jim Cornette.
Not necessarily. It's weird how you think because I like Cornette, I agree with him on everything. But no, I
don't think that, Mark, but it irritates you so much that I have to keep playing the card.
I guess that's fair. I like both those guys separately, right? Although I remember Snooki doing a handspring elbow, that was kind of rough.
Yeah. That's certainly on the list.
Doesn't David Arquette winning the world title have to win?
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right, Mark. I think that is
to his credit, he was very cool about it and embarrassed by the whole thing.
Right.
And I'm not ripping him at all.
He wanted no part of that, and to his credit, could not get that thing off of himself fast enough.
Mm-hmm. And I think he took the whole locker room out for dinner that night and picked up the entire bill.
Right.
To show them, look, guys,
Yeah, they knew. Look, it was WCW in 2000. They understood.
Yeah.
They saw things circling the drain.
Yeah, they got it. Firefly wants to know if Mark listens to Kevin Nash's podcast. I don't.
Nope.
But nobody asked me.
I don't listen to very many podcasts, and Nash is smart and witty, so maybe that's one I should consider. But I also never thought Nash was very interesting.
Right.
So,
like that, he's funny. Like Kevin Nash can turn a joke.
Yeah.
But like he's almost too close to some of this stuff. because either he's not involved with the business and doesn't pay attention, or he was trying to run the book for somebody and was too involved.
I
So,
never got the sense that Nash actually liked wrestling. It was just a way he made a lot of money and did some impressive things, but
yeah, I think Nash probably has some great stories about personalities, but I don't need to hear Kevin Nash talk about how he would run the wrestling business, and that's at least half a podcast for a wrestler. So, I don't know. Tough sell. I don't listen to a ton of podcasts either. I catch every third or fourth episode of a couple of our close friends. I watch all of Phil's episodes of Articulated Points.
That's right. Fine podcast.
Right.
New episode just dropped.
Yeah, that's a good opportunity to talk about Articulated Points.
Hey, that's the podcast I run with Patrick Stewart on a different channel here on YouTube. I'm sure the link's somewhere down there. We talk about G.I. Joe, but also different toy lines and try and go into deep dives, sometimes even with Disney, because it's my show and I'm going to do what I want. And we just put out a short episode yesterday where we have 3 different Harley Quinn action figures that are actually 3 of the same Harley Quinn in the same scale, released by the 3 different toy companies. So, hey, how often do you get a direct comparison like that?
Right. They're just setting you up for one, Phil. They wanted you to make that episode.
That's right.
Diana Davis is in the house. Sorry I'm late. Busy day. Happy anniversary. Can you start over? Well, I guess we kind of have to now, don't we? I love that bit. I'll never not do it.
We gave Skybound a ton of love after our Knight Rider 2000 talk.
Right.
Just so she knows.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We had a bit. I'm sorry.
Yes, we did.
Sign our petition for Skybound to start a Knight Rider 2000 comic.
Right. Oh, it's only 3 issues long.
I've already got the fanfic written.
So we are running a little long. Does anybody have anything extra cool that they got in this week?
I mean, it was pile of loot week. So good Lord. Everything back there on that second shelf came in this week. So everything you guys have had for weeks, right? Techno Vipers, Airborne. I got
Buff Newman.
Ooh, Buff Newman wins.
Buff Newman. Hello, Jerry.
Hang on. Let me get this in the big window, Phil. You win.
Yes.
Let me get you going here.
Buff McHonky Dog.
Right. That is Wayne Knight from Jurassic Park, only he's just ripped.
And he comes with this Velociraptor.
The one that killed and ate him in the movie.
That was a Dilophosaurus, actually.
Whatever.
But and the sweet ride, because this is Mattel's take on Kenner's take on Jurassic Park.
There you go.
How did Newman get that buff?
I would like to say that in the original Kenner toy line, he was wearing a turtleneck sweater. So them giving him these arms is all on Mattel.
Right.
I mean, I think they probably just only had those arms to use, right? They weren't going to sculpt new flabby arms for Newman.
Now, Wayne Knight, the actor that played Dennis Nedry and Newman, he's lost a lot of weight. He's not fat anymore.
Okay. But he's not ripped either.
But he ain't that.
It's not this.
He ain't ripped all the hell either.
Oh, that wins completely.
Yes.
There we go.
Can you have him from the profile picking up a car to save a woman? That'd be awesome. Yeah, here we go.
Come on, balance, damn you.
That's outstanding.
Rex,
We'll
Rob,
workshop it.
you've been itching to show off the bug all night, so why don't you go ahead and show off the bug?
All right.
Because if we don't just give him a couple seconds now, he's just going to keep zipping it across the screen.
Yeah. Look, I got the bug.
Hey.
Oh, you broke it.
Yep.
And a blue beetle to go inside.
Where's Booster Gold?
He's coming.
Okay.
Yeah, he's on the way. That figure hasn't been released yet.
Yeah, he's on the box though, so
So instead, you're going with co-pilot Kilowog.
yeah, he won't fit. I could put it. Hey, I could put in Peacemaker or
Would
or
fit.
Judo Master.
Judo Master, yeah.
Or Calendar Man. Just saying.
Yeah, but like those guys are Charleston heroes, so they work.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know, there's actual precedent there. Anyways, we do something of a segment in what we got in, so I guess it's time to get that one. Oh, okay. Why didn't you say that before I got started? Oh, let's show off the bug. That's right. There's another one. Hey! He's a good one too. He's really, really nice. And at the same time, I also picked another one of these guys who's
He's in good shape.
yeah.
Who cares about that? Go back to the Beachhead.
He was stunningly underpriced. Where Beachhead was a good buy. That Crimson Guardsman was a steal, so we couldn't say no to him. But yeah, we're back to Beachhead. He's got all of his gear. His paint's in good shape. His joints are good. He is bicrotched. It's just a quality addition to the collection there. I will soon knock him off of the table and break off a stand peg in his foot like I did with one of the other ones this week.
no.
And
Sounds like a
I've been
plan.
right. I've been cursing it ever since. So let's roll into shout outs. Phil Donnelly, you're our guest. Who we shouting out to today?
Like always, shouting out Patrick Stewart, my partner on Articulated Points. And I have seen what he's got planned for Armor 4, so I think you are all going to enjoy it.
What is it like doing a show with Star Trek royalty?
Well, let's just say Tanagra when the walls fell.
Mm-hmm. Make it so.
That's all I got.
Isn't the answer to that Shaka something?
Shaka
Sure.
and Tanagra. Yeah.
Rack time, Rob.
All right. Shout out to the studio audience. Thank you for sticking with us low these many 13 years.
That's a good point.
Right.
Happy
It's,
Arbor Day.
Thank you. Somebody finally. Mark Weber.
So this one's just a little bit deep, but hopefully not too long. Thursday is the birthday for Sarah Langs, who's a researcher for Major League Baseball and ESPN.com. And she's fantastic. She's on Buster Olney's podcast. She's going to turn 31. She's in year 3 of an ALS diagnosis, and it hasn't slowed her down at all. So the shirt I have back there on the wall, you can barely see it, but it says baseball is the best, and then beat ALS vertically. And that shirt's available at rotoware.com with proceeds to benefit ALS research. So her birthday is her favorite day of the year. Like, she does a big deal for everybody's birthday. Her birthday is a big one too. So if you can find Sarah Langs on Twitter and send her a happy birthday on Thursday, that'd be sweet. Because she's really, really an inspiration and a good story. So happy birthday to Sarah Langs, coming up on Thursday.
All right. Who else we got? Anything?
That's it. That's plenty. I went long.
All right. It's only like an anniversary episode and stuff.
I'm just saying. I just don't want to hog the mic, right?
Why start now?
Yeah, right. I'm so shy.
So withdrawn.
So maybe year 14, I'll break out of my shell.
Right. Just come out of the shadows, Mark Weber. My goodness. Give a shout out, echo Rob's sentiments to everybody in the live audience tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. It seems like you're here every week. We can't seem to frighten you off.
Lord, how we try.
Lord, it doesn't mean we won't stop trying. If you're catching us on replay, we appreciate you too. Thank you so much for joining us. You're a big part of what we do. Keep watching. I know Tuesday at 9 doesn't work for everybody. Bear with us. You never know. But that's the glory of YouTube. We're here whenever you want us. And at this point, we're here for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours.
Don't you
if
fall
you're-
asleep, Phil, you West Coast bastard.
I can kick him out. At this point, I can kick him out and not even have to bring him back.
I mean, I know we're a couple minutes past 8. Yeah, come on now.
You West Coast. bastard.
Come on, I'm
Remember-
missing my shows.
If you're
Right.
catching
I'm
us on
the stories.
if you're catching us on the YouTubes tonight, remember to give us a like in that corner and a subscribe in that one. About 25% of you every week watch and don't subscribe somehow. Look, we tend to have the same crowd every week, so I don't know how you're tuning in and not subscribing at this point. All we're asking for is a few clicks. If you're catching us on the Facebook, best thing you can do, head over to YouTube and just click the like and subscribe. Then you can go back to watch us on YouTube. I think that's just Jake Rose at this point, but whatever. He is our dedicated Facebook viewer. If on the Facebook, give us some kind of a reaction, give us a thumbs up, give us a heart, give us a little huggy guy. We do love little huggy guy.
Mhm.
And if you're catching us on our audio replay, available at Podbean and Apple and Spotify and wherever your finest podcasts are gathered, it's all right there for you. Just leave us a nice review, give us 5 stars, tell everybody all about us, talk about us in your Facebook groups and your Reddit pages and all those other circles, and spread the word, because that's how this is going to happen. I can do all the PR I want. It doesn't help one bit. Does not. It's up to you guys reacting to and interacting with us that spreads the word. So help me not shout into the void quite so much. Just help us out with reactions and shares and all that other good stuff. Shout out to Diana Davis, who gave us a heads up on some news earlier today. Want to give a shout out to our good friend Brian, Hood Cobra Commander 788, who is not our lead-in anymore. But we'll see him come June. He's in good shape. I've been in touch with him last couple of weeks, and so always good to hear from Brian. A shout out to our wonderful friends and sponsors at Kokomo Toys. Well, very quickly, we haven't done the theme song in a while.
No, we haven't.
So everybody, Kokomo Toys.
We should try that with the horn section next week. Just saying.
Right. If somebody wants to write a horn lick to go with the Kokomo Toys song, yeah, I promise you that's going to happen.
It kind of works. Kokomo Toys, Kokomo. Kokomo Toys.
Were you doing keyboard cat?
So maybe.
Don't encourage him.
You should see him. You ready for it?
Kokomo Toys, Kokomo Toys, Kokomo Toys, Kokomo Toys, Kokomo.
That was a mistake.
Toys.
It wasn't good.
Yeah.
It was worth a try.
Right.
It wasn't
Worth a
good.
shot. Worth a shot.
Mhm.
It's not the worst thing we've done on this show, and Lord knows we've done
That's
lots.
the worst thing we've done tonight.
We need to change that to Phil's ringtone.
It is our 13th anniversary show, so of course a shout out to all of our past hosts, our past guests, our past audience. Thank you so much. We wouldn't be here without any and all of you. So Lord knows, I tend to think that we're closer to the end than the beginning on this thing, but I don't see an end in sight. If you guys keep showing up, we'll keep doing shows as long as we can. Firefly says that Phil's horn section trauma is all over his face. Come on, Phil. Come on, Phil. Andrew Gaugan asks, what is the worst thing that's been done on What's on Joe Mind? It is far too late to get a reply on that one from us. Jim Smith is late to the party, but congratulations on 13. We appreciate you, Jim. Thank you so much for joining us. I think that's a new name. Welcome to the show.
Lucky
Welcome to the
13.
live chat, anyway. But I think that's it. I think that's all we got. That's all we got. I have no touching, sappy moment to close the show with, because nobody wants that anyway. So it just we'll be back next week.
Mhm.
Maybe we'll actually have some real news to talk about.
Mhm.
Maybe
Imagine
we'll
how long. Imagine how long we can go with actual content.
or God forbid, a guest. I have been striking out on guests lately, guys. I apologize. I've really meant to have, not to dismiss Phil, but Phil is our substitute host, and
No.
Phil was always the plan for this week. Let me just throw that out there. So we were not. Phil is not here as a substitute tonight. Phil was part of the show because he's here once a month at least, anyway.
Phil's not a guest; he's family.
So
That's
if we're going
exactly right.
if
The
we're going
one
to
you
do
shed in the
an
corner.
if we're going to do an anniversary show, we've got to have Phil.
Hey.
That's enough out of you.
Oh, you butted him up and then banned his ass.
That's how
Yeah,
that works.
just like family.
Right.
Speaking
But,
of ladies, not the boy.
That's all we got. I know we're running long, but hey, it's not as long as any of the last 3 weeks, so consider that a win. For our guest host Phil Donnelly, for our regular host Rob Irizarry, and the honcho Mark Weber, I'm your host Mike Irizarry. Be sure to tune in next Tuesday at 9:05 p.m. here on the Superstation for another glorious episode of What's on Joe Mind. That's right, a fan cast about the world of G.I. Joe. We will start off. Oh my God, year 14. Remember when I started this, Rob? I was a young man then. I was
hopes and dreams.
a young, vibrant man with dreams and keys and credit cards and friends.
Light in the eyes.
Back in the day.
I can't remember that far back.
Oh, that was a time. But as our friend Vagon likes to say, hey, stay safe, and if you can't, be careful. Be sure to join us next week for an all-new episode of What's on Joe Mind. Have a great rest of the week. Yo, Joe.
Meow.